Alrighty. Thank you, everyone that's here tonight, and for your patience, and for everyone that's going to watch the replay. This is our boot camp. It's going to be nice and quick, and we are going over the 5 pillars by Eric Walton. So, watching the replay, and you don't have the book yet, get it immediately. It's very easy to download on any device via Kindle. And this is going to help us. The subtitle is 5 Actions to Build Your Network Marketing Business. So we're talking about the first key tonight, which is sharing. So, into the presentation. Okay. So we're going to go over an overview of the 5 pillars: what is sharing, why share, how to share, resources, and teaching others the shares. And then we will have action steps. So the 5 pillars are share, follow up, educate, serve, and build. So just what is sharing? Sharing really is just telling stories, seeing a need and offering help, and giving recommendations of things that you love. So just think about the ways that you want to share, but the most important thing is telling stories. Why share? The most credible form of advertising comes from the people we know and trust. 83% of people believe recommendations of friends and family. You are the CEO of your business. Sharing is your job. People will want to join. Make sure they know they can join with you. And I actually just had this happen. So I was in a group that I do, a Bible study group, and we did a gift exchange, and I sent some samples out to people. Well, I didn't do the follow up. I usually send out postcards with information of, here, if you want more, here's how you get the kit. Well, one of the individuals went out and just randomly bought a diffuser. And I'm like, he could have bought that for me. But that's fine. He's going to run out of the oils that he has eventually, and he can still get a kit. But it's important that people know that they can join with you. And I actually have a bachelor's in business administration marketing. And so this is, there's statistics on it. The best form of advertising truly is word of mouth advertising, or feeling like you know the person. And so that's one of the reasons why they use celebrities, because we kind of feel like we know celebrities. And so that's like getting a little bit of a referral from someone we kind of know. So how to share? So you're going to do whatever works for you. And this time things are a little bit different, but the most important thing is to replicate your results, be creative and consistent. Right now, face-to-face means Zoom for us. Then social media is ways that we share. And again, we talked about how we want to share stories. You can teach classes. We regularly have 1 to 3 classes every single week. And just wearing oils in public, that's a really important one. There's many a times where someone has just stopped me and asked me something, or I've been able to share oils with individuals. Remember, there's only one road to diamond, yours. So we have a few resources. We could have edited this. Of course, we know we have our Vital 180 resource. That's the first and foremost one. The more that you go through that, the more equipped you will be to run your business. And they're currently updating it. Another good resource that people have used is Game Plan, Book, and Workbook. There's also the simplifiedoiler.com, which I have not used. And we have textable classes that are on Vital 180. And then just the Young Living catalog, knowing that knowing the product lines. And then a couple of recommended books to help your skills are The Go Giver and Go Giver Sells More. And I do actually love those books. And then we want to teach others to share. So we are going to focus on replicating results, not duplication. And so what we mean by that is not everyone is going to share in the exact same way that we do. but we want to make sure they're sharing in a way that gets them results. You're going to help people identify their skills, talents, and gifts. You're going to work with their strengths. You're going to keep it simple and review simple steps of sharing. Use resources. No need to reinvent the wheel. So again, when it comes to classes, we have so many resources that we can use when we're doing those classes. There's no, if you have a particular strength, you have a particular niche, of course you're going to share about that, but you want to plug into the classes that are available, promote the classes that are available, and use resources to give your own classes that have already been created, and set reasonable expectations. So here are our action steps. So share one new way this week, and then record your activity and results and repeat. And just a quote to end with: let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Mother Teresa. All right, and that takes us to questions. So again, this particular book is made to be extremely interactive, and for you guys to share, again, what did you learn from this, or do you have any questions? Do you have any doubts? Any things you, when it comes to sharing? Any blocks? Anything you need help with?
Well, with the resources, I love the RISE brochure. Covers a lot of the things that you just did. And I like when it talks about sharing, it's not just sharing company graphics, it's sharing what you do, what has worked for you, what you love. I mean, even if you like just got your kid or whatever, oh my goodness, I love this one.
Yep.
Or what's in your diffuser today. And then your story, because no one else has that. That's what makes, why would anyone want to come to you if you just look like everybody else? So I like that. How did you word it? We want to replicate, in other words, do the same, similar, but not duplicate, because not everybody is the same. That was a really good point.
Yep, exactly.
I like that too, because people don't want to feel like you're always just trying to sell them. They like it when they can like be intimate with you and have that personal connection. Like, oh, this works for my kids. I can't sleep, so I use lavender, and I feel like I taking a Benadryl, honey, or so you make it personal, not just like, hey, come do this, come do that, and it's like a sale, like a salesman, and it's a softer approach, and it's more like natural, organic when you're sharing.
And I like that action step too. Try something new this week. So that's really a good goal for every week, huh?
Yeah.
I did put in the chat, I put, hopefully you can click on it, but I put a link to the RISE brochure if anybody wants to check that out, as well as the website Vital 180. To Sheena's point, I do think it's pretty cool to, like, you don't need to know everything. I know that my brain is pretty analytical. And so I thought, well, I need to know the science behind these oils and why they work and what they do. And sometimes that can cause us to like not share. We feel like, oh, well, maybe I don't know enough. And the reality is, especially, you're going to be talking to like your friends, your family, right? Like first and foremost. And they don't know that when you start talking science, they're like, she don't talk like that. Like they're going to see right through it, right? Like what they want to know is, do you like it? Did it work? Cool. Then I'll try to do.
Yeah, and so along with that, I really liked identify the strengths of everyone and different members on the team so you can plug into the group and yeah, nobody's here alone because Dana will do the research and Carrie will tell the jokes. No.
Because
But
I surely
everybody
will
has
not
something.
do the research. I eat green and I spit out red. I'm like, people ask me for details. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. You should look it up.
Yeah, but that's what I think it's really neat. Everybody does, the different, have fun with your friends on the team, and even that they're not on your team yet, do all these personality tests. I've done that with a few. I just sent it out randomly to some friends, and like, I was kind of surprised some of the people who replied to me is like, wow, I haven't talked to her in ages, but she replied back, and I'm like, okay, fun. And then it just gets the conversation going, but you see what their strengths are, and not to attack them with too much information or whatever their love language is or whatever their color personality is, that because the personal development is the huge part of the journey because it's lifestyle stuff. So I really like that aspect when it talked about the strengths on the team too.
Yeah, absolutely. In my little Bible study group, we did the 5 love languages, even though like all the guys were like against it. But we forced them. We're like, well, you can either take the test or you go in the waiting room. How about that?
What, they're afraid there's going to reveal that they actually have a personality if they take a personality test?
I don't know. No, well, sometimes there's certain personalities, and I think it's more prevalent among guys where they're like, I don't like to be boxed in.
Yeah.
I'm a man. I can do whatever I want.
I have seen more guys though have the reaction like, oh, that is so true. That's all
Right.
me.
Right.
Because it's
No.
like, if you answer the question honestly, it's just a way that
No,
we can
like,
understand now.
yeah, definitely when we talk about it afterwards, like we use it in our language. It'll be like, so and so, yeah, you keep wanting everybody to feel included because that's your quality time coming through or whatever. Like now we use it as language all the time.
Interesting.
Any other thoughts, comments, or questions?
Tashina, would you mind telling a bit about your story? Because we have some that are just kind of new to the sharing aspect of it and things like that too. And so I think it would be helpful for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, can you guys hear me clearly? Okay. Said something was wrong with my speaker. Yes, so I started my health and wellness journey 6 years ago now, and I grew up a fairly sickly child. Everyone in our family has had allergies and eczema and all this stuff, but there's always one out of the group that is like the worst. And so like when I was, for the first 2 years, I wouldn't eat anything but plums, my mom said. Like all my baby food, I would like spit it up. I didn't like it. I would be up until 5, going back and forth to the hospital for asthma attacks, taking this thick medicine for allergies. We got a dog when I was 5. Found out I was allergic to everything with fur. When I went to take my allergy test at 11, I had 60 on my back and 8 on my arm. I was allergic to 58 of the 68. So I'm allergic to seafood and tree nuts and everything outside. And it's just great. And so I accepted all of that, right? Like that's just normal. I got to high school. I was in the best shape of my life. I was running track and I would get sick every single month. And I mean, like I would get the flu and I would be thrown up in the bathroom and I have to go home. Like not just a normal cold. And I went to the doctors and I'm like, can you fix what's wrong with me? And they're like, you just have a weak immune system. So I just accepted that. Like that was just life, right? And so with my whole life on allergy medicine and eczema medicine and knowing that in the wintertime I was going to have coldies and Benadryl and Zicam and vitamin C and echinacea, and I was just gonna fill my cabinets because I gotta live my life, but I'm gonna get congested for an entire 3 months every winter, and that's just how we're gonna live our lives. I exercise. I would get into vitamins sometimes, but I wasn't super crunchy. And then I hit 2012, and I started to have issue after issue. And so the first issue that I had is I started to have high blood pressure. My day job is in the automotive industry. I had a job where it was super high stress. In the period after 2008, like 2011, we had a lot of issues with like getting parts and stuff like that because we had scaled down so much for 2008 and then we started expanding again. So everyone in my group that was in their 30s, they had high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Again, you just accepted it. That's just what happens when you get to your 30s. We exercise. We have our 4 cups of coffee or our neon colored energy drinks. We have our Buffalo Wild Wings once a week and our McDonald's. And that's just how we live when we try to exercise to keep things normal. So I got the high blood pressure. 6 months later, I got gut issues. I was in and out of the emergency room. I ended up having a new allergy and 5 different diseases. So I had to be on an elimination diet for 12 weeks for that. But 6 months after that, I started having hormone issues. So I dealt with fibroids and excessive bleeding for 2 entire years. And I ended up having a minor surgery to help with that. And then in that period, I was in 2 accidents in 6 months, rear-ended, needed to be in physical therapy for that. So after that, I got to 2014 and I obviously was depressed, mood issues. And I was like, we should not live this way. I started talking to everyone else in their 30s. They all felt like they were in the 50s. They all had hormone issues. They all were exhausted and they all had body pain. And I was like, this isn't normal. And I think that, God put these body parts in for a reason. I don't think that should be the first thing to take them out. Like, that's not the option. So I was in a mode that I was searching for something. I would spend $200 on Amazon or Vitamin World or Vitamin Shop getting vitamins and supplements and tinctures, pure Dong Quai, things of that nature, trying to help what I had going on. And it was a slow process trying to Google my way to good health. And at the same time, I had a couple of friends, more like acquaintances, that were on Facebook talking about, I'm just using lavender and it smells amazing. And I was like, whatever, they just trying to sell me something, because the essential oils that I got from Amazon didn't work. So why would I think that this lavender was going to work? And in January, I went to a home party just to hang out with my friends because I was really introverted at the time. With all the sickness, I needed to just be with my friends. And so I went to support with the intention of not buying any essential oils because they didn't work. And Panaway was placed on my body, tension was released in my neck, and my life was radically and dramatically changed. And I thought immediately, the world needs to know. I'm like, my sister, she's a little bit more crunchy and into that stuff. She gonna do this. My stepmom, she's a little bit more crunchy. She's into all that stuff. She gonna do this. So I booked my home party before I even bought my kit because I couldn't afford to get my kit that night. I just didn't have $200 sitting in the bank ready to go. I stocked the website for 4 days. And then I was like, this is kind of like health related. So I think I'm just going to use my health card to get it. Like before my check came in. And then a couple weeks later, I got the Great Day Protocol, which we talked about in one of our last classes, that greatly improved my mood using oils for motion like Joy and Harmony. And before I had my surgery, I started using a liquid supplement that is not from Young Living that someone recommended for me for my iron and Ninja Red, and it completely changed all of my mineral levels. And I talk about that in one of our Ninja Red classes. And I'm currently working on a new hormone issue. And the difference of having the support, the supplements, the nutrition, the knowledge that I have now is completely different. When I went through what I went through from 2012 to 2015, I felt like my body was my enemy. I felt like I was confused all the time. I felt like, why can't the doctors help me? And now I have fibroids again. I just found out I was anemic. I didn't even know I was anemic because I had no symptoms, hardly. Now I think back and I'm like, okay, yeah, I got a little bit of concentration stuff. On the weekends, it's a little bit hard to get up on the weekends, but I don't feel like my body is my enemy. And I know that I have solutions to get through what I need to get through. And so that is why I share, because I see too many people get into their 30s and life be miserable and they feel like their body is their enemy. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like, it does not have to be that way. There is support through these plants that I believe that Jehovah has given us that can help us so much. So that's why I share.
Very nice.
Who's up next? I already told my story right before you got here.
Cool.
That's awesome. Awesome. Jocelyn, your turn.
Now I am on my way to Target. So I came to oils initially just because I wanted to drink them. Like I wanted oils that were safe for me to take internally. And I had been using a brand, a Whole Foods brand. I think it's called 360 or something. And I was just adding it to my tea every single morning. Every morning I would add it to my tea, and then I would end up with a headache by the afternoon. And it wasn't my norm. So after about a week or so, I'm like, why do I keep having these headaches? And I looked at my routine, and the only thing that I had changed was the fact that I was consuming the peppermint oil. So I went to Whole Foods and I asked someone in their health and beauty section where the oils are stored if it was safe for me to take the peppermint oil internally, because I had enough sense to read and it said for external use only. But I wanted her to tell me that I could continue drinking it, and she did. She said, she was like, don't worry about therapeutic grade. If it starts off as a peppermint leaf and you can eat a peppermint leaf, you can consume essential oils. Don't let them have you paying $12 for a little bitty bottle of oil when you can come and get this great big bottle here for $4. And so I kept drinking it because I was really, really smart at the time. And then I continued having headaches. So finally I just stopped. And around that same time, I saw Dana on Facebook talking about Young Living. And I knew that there were two companies that sold therapeutic grade oils. And obviously, if the kind from Whole Foods was making me have headaches, there must be something to this therapeutic label. And so I reached out to Dana and I was like, what's the difference between Young Living and the other brand that sells therapeutic grade oils? Because the other brand was a little bit cheaper. And I'm like really frugal. So I wanted to go with the brand that was cheaper. And how Young Living, unlike the other company, it owned its own farms and it oversaw the process of producing the oil from the time that the seed entered the ground until the oil itself was bottled and sealed. And so that's how I came to Young Living. Kit, after a while, I got my kit, and then I started learning about emotional oils and how oils could be used for focus. And I was just a consumer of products. So I just bought them regularly for about 4 years. And then last year I decided I'm sharing anyways. I might as well do the business side of it. How would it look different from what I'm doing now? It wouldn't look different at all. So I started doing the business side last March, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Anything else before we close the call out for tonight, guys? All right. So
What about Sherelle? Sherelle has a story.
Oh, Sherelle, you want to share your story?
Sorry, I'm trying to finish up a late dinner that I think I just burnt. Roast. So I'm trying to get some juices to go back into it. If I can save it, I can throw some juice in there.
Put the purification in the diffuser. No one will smell the burnt food.
Okay, thank you. I have been interested in oils for a while. And I actually been around some sisters that sold the oils, and I would ask questions here and there. But I didn't have the opportunity to kind of get back into it. And I guess I didn't have the time. And then so through the pandemic, and I wasn't in communication, nobody followed up with me. It just wasn't around me as much. And that's why it's important to share and follow up. Okay. So the pandemic hit and I got reconnected with Jocelyn and she was into it. Well, actually she invited Alana who invited me. And so I had the time, opportunity, I had some extra cash to actually sit down and figure things out. And I was glad that actually it worked out this way because I like this support system of where I wound up and where I could have been. I appreciate this so much more. And so I wasn't really sure about how things can go. I know, of course, the natural things are the better. I've experienced some things and I go back and forth with the controversies of, for example, like the flu shots and things like that and what's natural and what you can do naturally for your body, you know, because these things really just give us cancer at the end of the day. So I was already on a health journey, you know, before this. So then I was very concerned about getting all my nutrients and things like that that my body naturally needs and that I cannot take in by eating all my foods and things like that. And so, and then also I was developing more anxiety. I already had anxiety, but things that had been happening to me the past few years increased my anxiety. And then I think by having COVID, it made me have a more depressed state of mind. And so I would really feel like my body would be like racing sometimes and just have all this anxiety. And I have a 3 and a 4-year-old and they never stop moving, talking, making noise. So that makes it worse. Then I was in a car accident, my mom died. And so that made me have this bout of inner anxiety and depression. And so one day what really got me was the stress away. I put it on me raw on my head because Jasmine always told me, that's how she taught me to put it on. I really felt calm. And I always, even my kids do that. And so, and you know how a drug addict, how they chase their first high because, you know, and so for that's like that for me, that stress away. I can't get it raw enough or pure enough because that first time when I did it, I instantly calmed down. And so now that's what I'm saying, because you had the pure, you should have the rollerball at first, but that's what got me was the stress away. And I like how Anthony talks about is whipping in the bottle or something like that, how he says that, and that's how I feel. And then also too, sugar makes me itch. And so I would take Benadryl all the time. And then if I can't sleep, I will take Benadryl. That was just a thing for me. And so now if I wake up too early or if I'm up too late, I can honestly diffuse my lavender and it's right there by my bed, even put on my feet and I'm knocked out like I had Benadryl. Even the sleepy eyes for the kids is so calming. And I just like that, even though I don't feel everything from Nisha yet, I like that I'm taking the steps to do something, you know? So that's why I'm here and I'm looking to figure out everything else and get into my Zytoscan oils, Dana. So yeah, and you know my ER order that duplicated?
Yeah.
It was my oil to my Zytoscan, the same oils. So now I have double those oils.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but yeah, so that's my story.
I love your story. I really
Thank
do.
you.
It's so powerful.
Thank you.
You guys don't know this yet because you're just meeting Damaris, but she has like a really amazing background. And she's so sweet and you can just tell like she has a heart to really help people, you know? Like I feel like in some businesses it's about, like I heard someone say once, I can sell anybody a kit and have them buy thieves right away. Like every kit for me is very, very close to $200 because I can sell thieves cleanser in my sleep. And I just thought that was so distasteful. like, yes, she's selling like a really good product that's going to help that person not have to use bleach and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, we want to get people what they need, you know, and what they want. And that's really about finding that out from them, not figuring out how much we want them to spend. And Damaris has that, like that really kind, altruistic spirit, and she has a background in science, and she's, well, like you can just tell, like she's real humble about it, but she's really knowledgeable already. And so I'm really excited about her being on our team, and I can't wait for everybody, including myself, to get to know her more.
Oh, I'm excited too.
Thank you. That was really sweet. You made me blush.
It's
true,
weird
girl.
hearing
You're like,
someone else talk about you when you're right there, huh, Damaris? Is there anything you would like to correct or add there?
Let's see. I'm interested in Young Living because I really, really love the oils. I went through nursing school really with a lot of anxiety and stress, and I remember this person gave me some lavender, and it really helped me through nursing school. But my dad, he does holistic medicine. So nothing pretty much is weird to me. Of course, that's, not doing with nothing with spiritism. Other than that, everything's pretty, pretty cool to me. I am a nurse. My title is I'm a nurse advocate. So I'm not on the floor or anything. I do case management. So I am pretty in between. I'm pretty in between with the Western medicine and pretty much with the Eastern medicine kind of. So I believe both can help, but I do believe that here in the US, there is a lot of pharmaceutical just crisis going on. And that's what I do with patients. I help with them with a lot of people that can't afford medications, what to do, how to, just so much. We do home visits, all kinds of stuff. So so I'm pretty excited. And right now, what an increase I see is depression and stress and burnt out. So I'm really excited to get my kit to start. And then I spoke with my sisters, and they're ready to Zoom with me after this to get them going. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yay.
And if Dana wants to join us and Sherelle, I don't know, like if you guys want to hop on, we can make it a party.
Yeah, if you guys could hop on, they're waiting whenever we're done, but they have kids, and I know that Sherelle had mentioned too that she has kids and they have helped her kids too. That's something that my sisters really are interested too with children.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What? I missed that. Hop on.
A Zoom right after this. Can you hop on?
Yeah, they're not back yet, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm good. They're not back yet.
Okay, cool. I don't know. Are you available, Dana?
Yeah, I do need to call my mom back. Okay. But after that I can hop on.
Okay. That sounds good.
And Sister Sappho, it's good to have you here too. That's Rachel's mom, Tashina.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet
I
you.
want to know who has parents in Tennessee, because I'm from Tennessee.
What part?
Jefferson City.
Okay.
Knoxville.
Okay. So my parents are really from here, but they moved down to Tennessee, and they're in Spring Hill, right outside of Nashville.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's where my family lives. That's so
Oh, really?
crazy. Yeah, that's where my family lives. That's
Your
where I'm
sisters
from.
that are going to be on the call right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
funny.
moved here almost 5 years ago from Tennessee, from Spring Hill.
What part of Tennessee?
The same area as Dana's family,
Near
right?
Nashville. Yep.
Near
Yep.
Nashville.
A nephew that's in Nashville. He works at Vanderbilt College University.
Oh, yep.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love it. Small world. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
See, now you have to come, Dana.
Yep. It's a
I'll
party.
come if you want. If you want more bodies and people to jump in and talk, I don't mind sharing or whatever. I don't know what you. We don't want to attack anybody, but
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, we'll send the invite via Messenger then. I'll send you the Zoom info in Messenger, Carrie.
yeah, okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
guys.
in the group thing.
I gotta still find a hotel room. So.
Hey, Shazina,
Bye,
thanks so
guys.
much.
Bye.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.